Something feels wrong. You know it, I know it, everybody knows it. But most people can't describe it. They think it's inflation, housing, politics, the economy, and those things matter. But there's something deeper underneath all of it. Something harder to measure, something harder to grasp. They stole the texture of life, the texture of communities, the texture of neighborhoods, the texture of work, the texture of childhood, the texture of adulthood, the texture of being human. Everything is smoother now, cleaner, more efficient, more optimized, more automated, more scalable, more profitable, and somehow less alive. Look at old photographs, not because the past was perfect, it wasn't, because that's where the evidence is. Every town had a personality, every neighborhood had a personality, every diner, every hardware store, every bookstore, every bar, every weird little local business, every eccentric owner, every stubborn old man who refused to modernize. Now drive through America. You already know what you'll find. The same stores, the same signs, the same parking lots, the same buildings, the same products, the same music, the same algorithms, the same everything. The country didn't become connected. It became copy-pasted. And every time somebody points this out, they're accused of nostalgia. But this isn't nostalgia. It's observation. Because texture isn't just aesthetic. Texture creates resilience. Texture creates identity. Texture creates community. A neighborhood filled with local businesses behaves differently than one filled with chains. A town filled with owners behaves differently than a town filled with managers. A culture filled with participants behaves differently than a culture filled with consumers. The difference matters because ownership creates attachment. Attachment creates stewardship. Stewardship creates community. But community isn't scalable. Community doesn't maximize quarterly earnings. Community can't be optimized by consultants. Community doesn't fit neatly into a spreadsheet. So it gets replaced. Everything gets replaced. The local store becomes a platform. The local paper becomes a feed. The local gathering place becomes an app. The local relationship becomes a subscription. And every replacement is slightly more efficient, slightly more profitable, slightly less human. Then they wonder why people feel isolated. Isolated? Of course they're isolated. Everything around them was designed for transactions, not relationships. The modern world can deliver a package across the country overnight, but it can't tell you your neighbor's name. Think about how absurd that is. You have access to the entire internet, yet millions of people have nobody to call when their car breaks down. You have instant communication, yet record loneliness. Unlimited entertainment, yet record anxiety. Unlimited consumption, yet constant dissatisfaction. What exactly are we optimizing for? Because whatever it is, it doesn't seem to be producing happy people. The people running the system have an answer. Efficiency. Everything must become more efficient, more centralized, more streamlined, more automated, more measurable, more predictable. But human beings aren't efficient. Friendship isn't efficient. Marriage isn't efficient. Children aren't efficient. Community isn't efficient. Art isn't efficient. Conversation isn't efficient. Meaning isn't efficient. A campfire is less efficient than central heating. People still sit around campfires. Why? Because human beings don't live on efficiency alone. We need texture. We need friction. We need stories. We need places. We need roots. And those things keep disappearing. The modern economy doesn't just sell products. It dissolves alternatives. The local business disappears. The local employer disappears. The local newspaper disappears. The local gathering place disappears. All replaced by corporations and franchises. Choice increases, real choices decrease. That's the trick. You have 20 brands of cereal, 1 landlord, 3 employers, 5 corporations controlling half the landscape. Infinite consumer choices, shrinking life choices. And every year the process accelerates. More consolidation, more centralization, more homogenization, more extraction, everything becoming the same. That's why every city feels familiar. That's why every shopping center feels familiar. That's why every airport feels familiar. That's why every feed feels familiar. The same culture, the same content, the same incentives, the same algorithms. And then people wonder why life feels flat. Because texture is what makes experiences memorable. Texture is what makes places meaningful. Texture is what makes life feel lived instead of consumed. The old world has problems, plenty of them, but it still had texture. The new world solved some problems, then started solving things that weren't problems. It solved uniqueness. It solved locality. It solved ownership. It solved community. It solved permanence, until all that remained was efficiency. An economy optimized for shareholders, a culture optimized for advertisers, a population optimized for consumption, and a generation wondering why everything feels hollow. That's the thing nobody wants to admit. People aren't just struggling financially, they're starving culturally. They're starving for belonging, for roots, for permanence, for places that feel real, for communities that aren't mediated through screens, for relationships that aren't transactional. They aren't asking for luxury. They're asking for texture. And that's why the anger keeps growing. Because deep down, people know something was lost. Not just money, not just housing, not just opportunity. Something harder to replace. The feeling that the world belonged to the people living in it, instead of the institutions extracting from it. They stole the texture. Then they sold us convenience, and somehow expected nobody to notice the difference.